But this is our incredible 30-minute chicken. You can do the chicken in the oven in an hour or a little bit more. But who wants to heat up their house for an hour during the summertime when it's been 100 degrees outside? So you can do it in the microwave in 30 minutes. And this is the pork tenderloin that you can do in a 1 pound will cook in 6 to 10 minutes. A 2 pound will cook in about 12 to 18 minutes. And our pocket thermometer really helps me kind of learn how not to overcook my meat so that everything turns out done the way it should be. But this is 32 pages of recipes that you can cook in your deep covered baker. When you purchase that, I can send you an electronic copy of that. And we also have a new deep covered baker cookbook, a small cookbook, and I'll pass these around when we go sit down, that has fabulous recipes that you can cook in your baker. But what I love is in the back, it has a time and temperature chart here of your meats that you would cook, your everyday meats that you would cook. So even though you might not have a recipe for your meats for the baker, then you can figure out how to cook it, and it kind of tells you the recommended time and whether it's recommended for the microwave or for the ovens. It kind of helps you learn how to use it. Anything else anybody wants to share about the baker? Okay. Well, those are ready to go in. We've got one more recipe we're going to make. I'll grab these out of the way, slide these into the oven, and set it right here right now. And this is our small saute pan. This is also one of the pieces that came in my new consultant kit. And so I'm going to teach y'all how to make garlic knots. And this is like a really easy recipe to make when you're having friends over and you want to do something special besides just regular bread. So we went ahead and got a head start here, and we took the biscuits and cut them up with our kitchen shears. And then we're going to press some garlic in here. So I'm going to show you two different ways to prepare garlic. This is our garlic press. Who here cooks with fresh garlic? It adds an incredible flavor to your food. And before Pampered Chef, I had never cooked with fresh garlic before. In fact, I used to get to those recipes that said use 2 cloves of garlic, and I always like, I wonder how many dashes that is, because I thought garlic only came in a shaker can. So since I've started, I've learned lots about how to cook. So when you go to the produce section and you buy the bulb, it looks like a small little onion, that's the bulb, and then the piece you break off is the clove. So to use the garlic press, you put the clove in here with the skin on it. So of course your hands aren't smelling like raw garlic. And then when you press this, you want to be sure that you press it where you want to go, because if you're looking at your friend and you're pressing the garlic, it gets so harsh, it's going to be smelling like garlic all day long, okay? And as you see when I press this, you'll see it shoot out. See what I mean? Somebody wearing the garlic. And then it has this little tool, so you can just scrape the garlic off right there. And then when you open it up, whenever you're not at a show at home, it will always come off in this piece, and you just put it in the trash can. But inevitably at the show, I always have to work a little harder. So you just take that little piece and stick down in there, and it will pull your skin out. So see how all the skin stayed inside, but yet the fresh garlic is in here. So we need a couple cloves of garlic. So who else would like to try this? Want to try garlic? Sure. Okay. Just remember that pan's hot.
That's a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Okay. And then just take that and scrape off the part that didn't come out.
Okay, right here?
Straight edge, yes. That's perfect. Okay. Anybody else want to try it? Who's never used our garlic press before? Anybody else?
I've used mine a lot since I had it.
Alright. So we've got some garlic in here, and I'll do, see, it never comes off of the show. I'll do one more clove in there. Okay, so we've got some garlic butter here. And then we're going to take some of our Italian seasoning.
I think it's over near the stove.
Here it is. I'm going to take some Italian seasoning and put in here. Okay, and I'm going to pass this over to Lori and Lynn. If you guys will help me out, and just what we're going to do is kind of take our, we'll cut up, we just took each biscuit and quartered them, and it doesn't really matter if they all get coated or not, but we want to kind of get get it in there evenly. So if I pass this over to you guys, can y'all work in that? And here's, so that was a whole can of biscuits, and we're just going to put that into the garlic butter, and then that will cook in the oven. So our cookware is oven safe. You can start on the stovetop and move it to the oven. And we have 2 different lines of cookware. We have the non-stick and we have the executive. Both of our cookware lines come with a lifetime guarantee. So our cookware is really nice, but the silicone handles and the glass lids on our cookware, you can put in the oven up to 400 degrees. The stainless can go under the broiler and up to 500 degrees. And with the non-stick cookware, can anybody tell me what the one thing is you don't want to do with non-stick cookware to clean it?
Put it in the dishwasher.
Put it in the dishwasher. Don't run the nonstick cookware in the dishwasher. And not just ours. You don't want to run any nonstick cookware in the dishwasher. But it's so easy to clean up. You'll see when we bake these tonight, they're just going to slide right out of the pan. You can burn grits and eggs and cheese in there. And when it cools, you can just flip it out and take a wet paper towel, wipe it out, and it'll look like you haven't even cooked in it. So it's really easy to clean up. Now, stainless, on the other hand, not quite so much. So stainless can go in the dishwasher. It's really strong and it's going to hold up over time. So you can wash the stainless in the dishwasher. And the non-stick, the bottoms are reinforced with titanium. Have y'all ever had a skillet that you cook in it and you pour the oil in, it all runs to the side, or you set it on a smooth top counter and it kind of wobbles a little bit? Well, with the titanium reinforcing the bottom of our cookware, you won't have to worry about it warping. So it's really strong, and then of course the stainless is very strong, so it's not going to warp. So we've got our biscuits. We're going to slide those in the oven, and they're going to bake up, and it'll be like pull apart bread. So and you can do this a sweet version too, and do cinnamon and sugar and butter in there. So you really can't go wrong with whatever you want to add. You can add some sprinkles in there and things like that. So we'll get that baking in just a second, and I'll show you a couple tricks before we go sit down. So was that pretty easy? We just made 2 recipes, very easy. Okay. So who's excited to try the mini pesto pizzas? Very excited. Fabulous. Okay. To show you all a couple tricks here. This is our veggie wedger, and it has a micro serrated edge. Kelly, can you see how sharp that is? It's very sharp. Okay, it's very dangerous. Okay, so you want to keep it in the protective cover when you're storing it. So to show you some things you can do this, we're going to use our potato. Whenever you're wedging something, you always want to start with a flat edge. So I'm just going to cut that off. That way it sits a little bit more still than wobbling around. And then it has a little tip in there. See the tip at the end? So you can kind of set that on top of your potato or whatever you want to wedge, and it'll kind of hold it secure so it's not all falling over. And then if it's something hard and you have a hard time with it, you can rock it a little bit if you need to, but that'll just push straight through there. And then you have potato wedges that you can use to cook. You can put these in your bar pan, spritz them with a little bit of olive oil, and put some seasoning on them, and you can bake them in there. You can do your big tomatoes in there, onions in there, an apple in there, whatever you want to wedge. So somebody else want to try that out? Who would love to try this? I've never tried this before. Pass it over to you, Joyce. Okay, and then do you see once you get to the bottom, you'll kind of line it up with the holes. Yeah, it's fine. Then that's right. And then once you get down there, then, yep, keep pressing. So you really can't mess it up. And then you have the wedges. Thank you very much. Very easy? You're fine. Yeah, very easy. Now, with your tomato, one thing I found about the tomato will hold together. Now, the other things kind of fall apart like this, but the tomato will hold together. So whenever you have a tomato and you do it, if it's a really big tomato, then you can just turn it and then press it down again, and it'll do even smaller wedges. Mandy, how are you? So, and then that's dishwasher safe. So what else could you do with that? What else could you wedge with that?
Oranges.
Oranges, limes, lemons, apples. You do your apples with that. Pretty much anything like that that you wanted to wedge, you could wedge with that. And I'm going to show you another little trick that I learned here. Anytime you need to slice tomatoes, you can take your tomato, and of course you can just slice it like this. We have a great tomato knife that makes it really easy to slice. And so we're probably going to be spending a while with that, right? This is a little trick I just learned, and I have to thank my good friend Catherine for teaching me this. You need 2 lids that don't have a raised piece inside. Some of them have a raised piece, so just any kind of lids you have in the house that match. And you're going to turn them upside down so they're facing each other. And then you want to take a sharp knife and stick through here. Stop excited. And then you just run this through. Turn it around. Now, the chefs, I think what they do, if you watch the Cooking Network, I don't think they use lids. I think they just put their hand on top of the tomatoes and do this. However, if you're like me in the kitchen, you definitely want to use the lid. But look at that. Isn't that cool? Wow. And they're all sliced. Or you could go back to the old way we used to.
Well, you can hold them a lot better with the lid than you can.
You can, yes. And then we didn't miss a one. Every single one of them got sliced.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I think I'm not going to hang out.
Well, can we do a clap for that? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Genius.
This is our manual food processor. This is another one of the items that now comes in our new consulting kit. I'm really excited about that. I love this. And the food chopper is great, but the difference between this and the food chopper is designed to chop one thing. So you can put it on your cutting board and chop up some potato. You can put it on your cutting board and chop up some onion or broccoli or chop in the little cap that came with it. But with this, you can actually incorporate ingredients and make a recipe in here. So there's 3 pieces to this. These 2 pieces are dishwasher safe. And the blade is just like this, very, very sharp, very dangerous. So keep your hands away from it. But the bottom blade, the way ours is designed, it has a unique design that whenever this cuts, it swoops down on the bottom and lifts your food up off the bottom, so everything gets cut. So we'll throw some potatoes in there. Chop some potatoes. We'll do the tomatoes really well. Chop some potatoes in here. Put this on here. And sometimes I don't have it quite right. Let's see.
There it is. It's on there.
It is. Okay, so whenever you're chopping with it, you want to use one hand to hold it down and one hand to pump. And this is just like our salad spinner. The same type motion is going to do your salad spinner as does this. So I'll pass this around. You guys can try it, but you can see how it swoops down and picks up everything. So who else wants to try this? Laura, you want to try that? And just pass it around. We'll get it chopped up. So some other things that you can do in here, there's like a cream cheese dip that I make, and you take a couple carrots, small carrot pieces, and throw in there a clove of garlic and a little bit of onion, and chop it up really fine. It'll pretty much mince it in there as fine as you want to get it. Then throw a piece of about half a bell pepper in there, and then do that a little bit more coarse. Then you want to add an entire block of cream cheese. So you're just continuing to add to this. Add the whole block of cream cheese, softened of course, and a little bit of Tabasco sauce. And when you pump that up, it'll blend all that together, and you have a garden veggie spread that you can use for bagels, you can use it for crackers, things like that. You can make your own cream cheese spreads. You know when you go to the grocery store and buy the expensive cream cheese spreads? You can do your own cream cheese spreads, put your fruit in there, put some strawberries in there and pump it up, and then put your softened cream cheese in there and blend it up. You've got your own cream cheese spread. You can do salsa. I did salsa at my show last night. We did tomatoes and put the cilantro in there, a little bit of lime juice, some onion, half of a jalapeno, and then you just chop all that up, and so you're blending it right in here. You can make your guacamole. So this is great because you can just continue to add to it. And then look what a great job we did there, chopping that up. So you can control how fine and how coarse you get the different things that you're chopping. And then when you go to clean this piece is not dishwasher safe. So just take some warm soapy water and rub over it, because this is the only part that really gets wet. Just don't submerge it down in water and don't run this in the dishwasher, but it's time to get it wet. And so this piece comes out, and then you can actually use this as a little serving dish, or you can work right out of that. If you want to make a fruit salsa, put your harder pieces of fruit at the bottom, like put the apples in first, the strawberry, the kiwi, the different things, and you can pump that up and make a delicious fruit salsa, and serve that with cinnamon chips during the summertime. That's really great. So when I do omelets in the morning, or if I make frittatas, I can put a little bit of mushroom in there, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion, chop that up, and then throw it in my pan and saute it. And I'm not having to get out a big cutting board and a lot of utensils to work with. I can do it all in there and then just throw that piece in the dishwasher. So really easy. And this now comes in the new consultant kit as well. Show you another little trick about garlic. We used the garlic press to press the garlic earlier. This is our garlic slicer, and the difference is, this is a little pillar. Let me show you how this works first, and then I'll tell you when you would use one versus the other. The little pillar here is kind of squishy, and what you do is you just put your garlic clove inside of it, and then you just want to press down and roll it, but not so hard that you break it. You want to just kind of hear it unwrapping, just like you're unwrapping a piece of candy. So you can kind of hear it doing that, and you can kind of tell when it gets done. And then just drop your garlic out, and do you see how it took all the peeling off, and the peel is still inside of here? So can I pass this over to somebody and get another person or two to work on that for me? Okay. Then this is our garlic slicer, and this does incredible shaved chocolate. I just did that the other day. I could not believe how well the chocolate worked. I just took a Hershey bar, and we just broke the pieces up and put down in there, and then did great shaved chocolate over ice cream, desserts, things like that. You can shave Parmesan cheese, the block Parmesan cheese over your salads, and we're going to shave the garlic. So you just throw your pieces of garlic down in there, and if it's big, just because you see the different holes in there, if it's like a real big piece, sometimes I'll cut that in half just so it doesn't get wedged in there. So let me cut that in half there. It just makes it a little easier to slice. Then whenever you slice with this, see, I have to make a big mess when I cook. Okay. Whenever you slice with this, it's like a pencil sharpener. So just hold this still, and then as you slice, you see how it shaves the garlic, and you get really paper thin shades of garlic. So the reason you would use this is a much milder flavor. When you press your garlic, it's a real intense flavor. So like whenever you're making like pestos and tomato sauces, your lasagna, your pizza sauces and things like that, it gives a really great flavor to that. But when you're doing pasta and things like that, sometimes you like a milder flavor. This is how I do it in my salsa. I want a milder flavor, so I slice it up and then put it in the food processor.